What's up, everyone?
How's it going? How's it going? Welcome to Eminem Talks.
We're
Cut
going to
you
get that
off.
together. I promise we
We
will.
will.
Welcome to Eminem Talks. Today, we're going to be discussing our reaction or a review
Yeah.
of Agatha All Along so far. And we're going to touch a little bit on that power ending.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Power Book 2 Ghosts. Was it season 1? That was episode 3 of Agatha All Along?
Yeah. Was it 3 or 4? Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it was 3.
So far, I have to say, I went into this like, why is this happening? I didn't understand why she needed her own spinoff. And we had enough of her in WandaVision. So I'm just like, okay. And then seeing the trailers for it, I wasn't impressed.
They were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I could still do without it. But after watching it, I have to say, I'm pretty into it. I have definitely, they've done a good job with, I'm curious as to where it's going.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Watching WandaVision, I love Captain Han's character as Agnes/Agatha. To start off with, but when they announced the show, I was kind of like, why? Why are we getting this? I wouldn't mind seeing her again, but maybe in another project, not necessarily her own. But I'm going to watch it, and so far, it's been pretty good. I can't lie about that. It's definitely been interesting. Mm-hmm. It's been interesting. You know, it's leading up to a big reveal. It's the acting has been very good.
Yes.
Of course, Catherine Hahn. You could tell she's having a lot of fun,
so much fun
playing this role, which kind of sells the show. Mm-hmm. And it works. The co-stars, they're working out very well, and it is leaving a bit of mystery. So, so far, so good with Agatha All Along.
So if you haven't watched it yet, spoiler alert, because we are doing a review of what we watched so far.
So these will be spoilers. I'll see if I can add some sort of spoiler tag on the video.
Yeah.
So when we are talking spoilers, if you haven't seen anything yet that we're talking spoilers about, you can mute until that spoiler sign goes away.
Yes. I love all the little details that they've been putting in there that we've kind of had to figure out. One of the big reveal that I
think we both guessed it.
Yeah, I guessed it earlier, but wasn't quite sure. So again, spoiler alert. So Agatha's lover, or ex-lover, she's Lady Death. Yeah. And it was just like the details from the beginning leading up to the current episode. There was a moment in there where I was like, is that?
It hasn't been revealed yet.
Well, yeah.
That she's Lady Death.
It hasn't been actually revealed.
There has been a spoiler that was confirmed due to some toys that were put out.
Yes. That, and if you watch the episodes up to the most recent one, it literally makes sense. Yeah. And you're like, that's why I was like, when it hit me, I was just like, oh my God, I was actually thinking about that not that long ago. I was like, the last episode, there was a part where I was like, could that be that might? I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, so
didn't want to jump ahead of myself.
So it was the last episode that tipped the hat for us, and then we got to confirm that she is playing Lady Death, Mistress Death. Teen was injured,
and we know Teen is Billy, which is one of Wanda's twins.
That's definitely our our guess. So before I jump all over the place, so we told you we geek out hard, we go in deep. So you're about to get first-hand experience witness of this. So there was a scene in the last episode of Agatha All Along where Teen was down. He was injured. They were tending to his wound, and Agatha looks up at the Green Witch. What's her name? I can't think of her name right now, but it's Aubrey Plaza's character. And she looks at her and she says, "What?" She said, "Don't."
Yeah, because Teen was dying. He had in that episode, which by the way was slightly a musical in its own way, but anybody who knows me knows I'm huge with musicals, Broadway, all that. So and while a lot of people may not like it, don't let that discourage you, because the storyline for that episode fit why the music came in, and it was actually brilliant and creative. So with that being said, there was a scene to where this curse was trying to take over, curse other people that were in the room, and it tried to go at Teen, and at one point it hit him and couldn't do anything to him, so got mad and just like threw him into this glass. So he had this glass shard in his stomach, which we didn't see until later. So he was dying. And so they went to one of the witches there. She's a spellcaster or
healer.
Healer. Well, she's a healer and she does spells.
Like a herbalist healer, yeah.
And she does spells. So it was they had asked her help. Now, if you been watching the show, you know Agatha care about Agatha and what Agatha wants. So when she started showing emotion for Teen, it was because he was getting ready to die, and she was telling all the other people, you know, don't let him die, don't let him die. And then she specifically went ahead. Go ahead, babe. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. you were going off, but she looks at, I can't remember her name.
I'm trying to too. Green Witch. We're gonna call her Green Witch.
Call her Green Witch for now.
That's who she is in there.
But Agatha, like she focused in on her, and of course the camera focused in on her as well. And she said, "Please don't." Some to that extent.
Yeah, she said like, "Please don't, not now," or something like that. Yeah. But she looked at her with such emotion. And she looked at her specifically and said, "Please don't." And it was just like, and you can see the way the Green Witch is looking down at Teen, like she's a little disappointed at the fact that he ended up living, because the spellcaster, which she ended up healing him.
Right, but there was another specific scene in the episode earlier on, and it was a conversation between Agatha and the Green Witch. And she mentioned something to the tune of, "I gotta collect my bodies."
Agatha was trying to set her up so that the other witches could hear what they were saying. So she clicked on this mic while they were talking, and she was saying something about getting all the witches killed for something. And then again, we're paraphrasing. And then the Green Witch was just like, "Yeah, you get to kill all the other witches, and I get my bodies."
Right.
So there was and that wasn't the only thing. There was a couple of things, because it was before those two incidents, where it was actually the previous episode, where in my head I was thinking, "Oh, you know, I think she might be." And I was like, let me not jump ahead of myself.
And then actually when they summoned her.
Yeah, that was a big thing too.
Yeah. When they summoned her, how she came out of the ground, and it was how the camera caught it, how you could tell how they wrote it. Death walks in between both worlds, and she came up from under on the witch's road. So I was like, there was something to that, how she came out of the ground after she was summoned, because when they went into the witch's road, they actually had to go underground to get there, or underground passage to get to the witch's road. But when they summoned the Green Witch, she rose up.
She came up, and it was how she came up too. Now there are a couple of theories. Like if you watch a couple, like some other reviews and reaction shows, everybody has their theory. But it just, the way she came up, that came before all of this other stuff. But so when that last bit just was like, we were like, okay, yeah, that's Lady Death.
Yeah,
her coming up the way that she did was kind of it was definitely a her coming up from beneath, right, type of thing. But yeah.
But yeah, so we actually did have it confirmed watching another video, and it was due to a leak of, I think it was like Funko toys, um, with her character and her garb, but it labeled her as Death. It's like, now it makes sense. She is Mistress Death, but that's probably going to be one of the reveals. The other reveal, which likely will come towards the end, and this is our guess. This is what we are.
We have some theories.
We definitely have some theories.
Theories about.
While it was trying to be led as Teen being Agatha's son,
which from the very beginning,
it wouldn't have made sense. That was initially what I thought too. Right from the back, like this may be Billy. This may be one of Wanda's kids. And they're trying to sell us on the theory that he may be Agatha's son, but she traded her son for the Darkhold, so she's not getting him back. And then, of course, the Green Witch did confirm it. That's not your boy, Agatha, at the end of the last episode. So she knows. But they're all unsure of who this kid is.
He has a sigil. A sigil over his mouth. Every time he tries to say who he is,
a sigil would appear, but it appears in a letter.
Yeah. So that letter to me looks like it's an M and a W. And I say that because of the way it's scribed. Like when people are writing their M's, especially when they're doing it in this type of calligraphy, it kind of goes from the bottom and you're kind of going up like this and you'll go down. So this one starts off with the like this, but then when it ends going up here, like when you're doing a W. Because, you know, your W's, I start mine's here and it goes here and then go off to the side. So it looks like it's it's the same letter, or I'm sorry, it is two letters in one, an M and a W. When I first seen it, I was like, oh, that's an M. And I'm thinking, I said it was a W.
It was a W.
I thought it was a W when I first seen it. I was like, oh, Wanda. And then later on, they started talking about Mephisto. And I was like, oh, wait, that could be an M too. And the way that it's drawn, it looks like it's an M and a W together.
But the tag on, so at the beginning of the series, supposedly Wanda's body is discovered with the library card on the toe for basically where the tag will go on a dead body. And when her name appeared, it said W. Maximoff. But the M looks very similar to the one sigil that appears on Teen's mouth when he's trying to tell people who he is. So our theory, because we were thinking the same thing, this is Billy. This is one of the kids that grew up from WandaVision, that crazy show. And he's probably needing
he talks Agatha into taking him on their journey.
Yeah.
On the witch's road. And he's intriguing Agatha because of the things that he's saying. First of all, he knows about the witch's road.
Right.
And he knows certain things. And again, when she asked him, who are you? Because he started, saying things that normal people should know. And then that's when we seen that I always forget what that thing is called. The sigil on his mouth. And the thing about a sigil is if you know, and Agatha even explains it, I think he's also trying to find out who put it on him. And he asks her several times through the episodes trying to see if it was her, and then it just directly asking her if it was her. And she says no. And then she's like, I don't know if I did. It's like the thing about a sigils is the fact that it works on the person casting it as well. So they won't remember if they did it or not. Mm-hmm. And she stated, that's why they don't use it, because it's a hassle and all that. It's not commonly used. So that led us, there's some other things in the show to where you would just have to watch. We don't want to spoil everything for you. We do want you to watch it if you choose to do so. That kind of led us to our theory, because we've got Teen trying to find his way to the end of the witch's road, and going to the end of the witch's row, you get granted something.
You get power.
Yeah.
So Agatha will get her power back.
Mm-hmm. And Teen gets to find what was lost. And we don't know if that's his mama, if it's his power. There was one instance in there to where he said something about that's what he was missing, was power.
His power.
So I don't know if he's actually trying to get his mama back or if he's just wanting his power back. Either way, all these little things kind of drew us to the conclusion of what we think or why Teen came into this, why he sought out Agatha, how he knew about Agatha, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. I'll let Meg tell you.
So I have my theory in this, and I guess we'll wrap it up with Agatha all along. My theory in this, of course, this is one of Wanda's kids, probably wanting to know either where Wanda is or how to break her out of something that only Agatha can help them with. And
Wanda ain't dead.
She's clearly not dead. We will be seeing her again. My theory is he was sent by White Vision. This is a stretch, but it kind of makes sense because he could also now be looking for Wanda himself, since he does have all of the Vision's memories. If you remember from WandaVision, Vision imprinted all of his memories into White Vision. White Vision even said, "I am the Vision," and then he took off. So that is my theory is White Vision sent Billy, who at this point has delved into witchcraft, like his mom, which now thinking about it, because at the end of the Witch's Road, the person who cast the sigil does not know they cast the sigil. He probably needs a part of his memory back. And him reaching the end of the Witch's Road will help him get that memory back and his intent on why he's there. Which would further my theory that I think White Vision did send Billy to go and get Agatha her power back because they're going to need her to break Wanda out of whatever state that she is in.
Yeah, because we know the Scarlet Witch ain't dead. I understand all the rocks fell on her and all of that kind of stuff, but if we remember,
we all saw that red light.
Mm-hmm. And we all know, if you are a true fan, comic book fan, you know Scarlet Witch's power. Right. And she is too damn strong. There could have been an instance she could have easily cocooned herself. She could be in a cocoon. Either way, we all saw that light, and Scarlet Witch ain't dead.
So that's the theory. But any final thoughts on?
It's a good show so far. It's very intriguing. I'm constantly waiting for the next one to see what's going to happen and where they're going with it. So with all the little details, the storyline in general is actually pretty good. But we'd like to know your thoughts too. Yeah. If there's anything that you disagree with us on, anything you like to add or anything like that, definitely go ahead and drop us a comment and we'll look those over and we'll definitely reply to them.
Yeah, share your theories, correct us if we got something wrong.
Yes.
We'll take that feedback.
We love feedback.
But yeah, it's definitely been a pleasant surprise, given the track record of Disney Plus shows. Yeah, Agatha all along has been it's been pretty solid.
It's solid.
It's been pretty solid, surprisingly solid.
I suggest checking it out. It is definitely worth checking out. Mm-hmm. And I love to see where it's going.
And with that, let's move right along to Power Book 2 Ghosts series finale.
So I have to admit, I came in this late to the game. So when Power came out, if you remember, Empire was out around the same time. So I watched 2, maybe 3 episodes of Power, but Empire drew me in. Like, I'm one of those ones with, I'm going to go what's going to keep my attention. So as watching both, Empire just caught my attention. And again, it's that musical side of me too. And I love the new music coming out. Most of it, some of it was, but most of it was pretty good. And that it was crazy. It was crazy. I was just gonna say it caught my attention more than Power did. So that's not to say I didn't like Power because I did like it. It just didn't capture. I wasn't captured enough like I was with Empire. So I didn't necessarily watch it. They've been getting me updated on it.
Yes.
Finding out that Tariq killed his own dad and all that whole thing going on and that's where I came in. So I came in after that. And so we just had the ending. First of all, it's a good show.
It's a damn good show.
It is. Yeah, I definitely was pretty damn hooked. In the beginning, when he tried to get me to start watching, I was still on the fence. I was like, I got other things I need to catch up on. But then once he kept playing it, I kept watching. And then I didn't want to stop watching. Next thing you know, I'm into it. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? Like, they crazy too. But it's really good. It's so good. But yeah, so that's where I was at with it. I came late to the game, but they've been watching it since the beginning.
I've been a Power fan since season 1, episode 1, going through the spinoffs. So this is, well, first of all, I got a little bone to pick with some other channels that are out there. I've been a YouTube spectator for a long time, and there are a lot of reactors, YouTube channels. They will give their reviews and reactions to shows and things like that, but not much do for Power. I'm like, where is the recognition for this show?
Yeah, I don't see it talked about it.
Man. So anyway, if you are watching this channel, please, if you have not yet, because a lot of the people from the culture know what Power is. But it deserves more of a bigger recognition than it's getting. It's a damn good show. Writing does stretch things from time to time.
It does. It definitely does.
It's like, okay, I'll accept it. It's one of those things, but everything else is so damn good. And each episode is packed. Honestly, it reminds me of Game of Thrones.
Love Game of Thrones.
On how the episodes are they're just loaded with stuff, and then afterwards you're in awe that it was only an hour.
Yeah, I was sitting there like so many things were going on, but it was so good. Like everything had to do with everything. So it wasn't just a bunch of random stuff going on. Everything went together and it flowed, but it went by so fast and it was so jam-packed, and it kind of had to be, considering what the show is about and what they do. Mm-hmm. So it's not that it's so jam-packed that you don't know what's going on. Oh no, you absolutely know what's going on. And you're so entranced by it, you're just sitting there like this, like, oh shoot, waiting to see what happens next. You're like, dang. I mean, there's a lot of reactions I had to this show.
There's a lot that goes on. Some of these characters they're iconic. Shout out to Courtney Kim for creating these characters, 50 Cent for producing the show, coming up with it. It's amazing. And it deserves a whole lot more attention than it is getting. So
we grew on me.
We subscribe to a lot of channels, and I hope these guys watch this show so they can go and watch our channel. So they can go and see this show. Watch the show, react to it. It's crazy. You will love it. Okay, so getting to this series finale, definitely closed out pretty good.
It did.
Pretty good. It was a solid
Better
episode.
Than All-American Homecoming. God dang it. We ain't going to go there right now, though. We ain't going to go there right now.
The series finale closed out. It was pretty solid. Basically, Tariq became ghosts literally all over again. All like father, like son.
Everybody got taken out. Everybody, and Tariq's on top. See, Tariq was the one that had to grow on me, because I couldn't get past this little boy who still looks like a little boy and taking him seriously. But you do, and you do fast. It's like he's a mixture of Tommy and Ghost.
Yeah.
And
which makes him one of the most dangerous characters.
Love it.
No, Kanan too.
Yeah, he got a little bit Kanan in him too. He absolutely does.
He is the perfect combination of all three of them. Add a little bit of Tasha. I mean, he's been around.
He has them in the right proportions that he needs them, and that's what made him grow on me. Because I mean, he can do some stupid things every so often,
he get himself out of it.
But considering how young he is and what he grew up around and things that he's done, I was mad at him for killing his daddy. I was.
Everybody was. Everybody likes ghosts.
But at the same time, it's like I said, he grew on me because, yeah, you got to watch it to see it. It's a lot to try and go over, which is why we're just going to really be talking about the that last show. Everybody died and went to jail.
Well,
for the main, except for some of them.
So this body count was particularly low. Now, for those of you who have watched the original Power's final season had a high-ass body count. Nobody was safe, including, obviously, the main character. No one was safe in the final season of Power. The body count was just rising. This one didn't have. It wasn't like it. It was still a significant one.
It was surprising.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see Monet go. An episode was it 9, 8 or 9, but overall it was a decent ending, and of course it left us on the cliffhanger.
But it was a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I know it's definitely a good cliffhanger.
We've heard some people say, "Oh, that was Kane," or "That was Diana." But no, if you actually pay attention to the way he was talking on that phone, that was absolutely Tommy. Yeah. That was Tommy calling him. So now we going to Chicago and to see Tariq and Tommy together.
I totally expect Tariq to show up, helping out Tommy for something. And some things that I read, people I heard from were like, "Well, why would Tommy call him? Tommy don't need him." Tommy does need Tariq.
He does. And
let's keep
not only that,
as crazy as Tommy is, there are some things that Tariq can get him out of right about now.
Just like Ghost had to do when he was alive. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if it was Diana, first of all, he wouldn't be talking to her the way that he did. Like even the way he answered the phone and stuff like that. He had a certain way that he talked with Diana. Of course, because they shared a child that was lost and all that other kind of stuff. But Diana's also in his same city. So, and not only that, let's talk about the fact that Diana,
he knows where she is.
Diana took on, and we know, I mean, it didn't come right out and say it, but they might as well have. The way she was looking, the way she was standing, she done took on the role of her mother.
She took over that business.
She definitely took on the role of Mona. So, Monet. Mm-hmm. Monet. But, and they live in the same city. So
he knows where Diana is.
And if she took over Monet's place in the business, obviously they kind of work together. So I mean, he's not gonna not speak to her, especially with her still being in the game. So why would it be Diana? And then Kane
fled.
He fled. He had to.
I love how he got his. It was short, simple.
He killed Noma. I mean, I thought there was going to be a lot more talking before it happened.
Simple to the point. He just wanted to see her dead.
Yep.
He got it.
He said like 2 or 3 words, and then she got one right between it was like right there. It was like, I thought there was going to be so much more talking before he did that. Absolutely not.
Nope.
It was not. I was like, ooh.
He was serious.
Like that,
she got to die.
I think the most surprising thing was Diana killing the daughter.
That was shocking.
At first I was sitting there like, because you didn't even see Diana and Kane come. It was just Tariq there because he dropped Diana off at the safe house. Although they were setting them up, that wasn't supposed to happen. Diana went off on her rent because she's still mad about her baby and other stuff. Her mama, of course. But for a second there, I thought it was Tariq. And I was like, are we really being that ruthless?
Right.
Because of the way it had happened. But then camera spanned over and then it's Diana there. You're like, I mean, I was sitting over there like, I'm talking about she didn't kill Noma, so I'm like, but she was right there.
Seeing her get shot was that. I was like, oh, shit, okay. This is what we're doing.
That was that initial shock, and then I went directly into, but she was right there talking about Noma because we were supposed to be trying to kill Noma. And I was like, oh my God.
That even surprised and pissed off Kane.
Yeah. Yeah, of course Tariq was mad about it. But it is what it is, they still gotta move forward. They still figured it out in the end, even though Noma caught on to them and set them up with some police going to the meetup place they were supposed to be at. Noma's people left her. Her brother ended up taking over. And then Tariq's working with her brother at the end. And that's when we literally hear him take on the name Ghost.
Yep.
Literally. So he's getting his mama to move back, to move out there, but he told her she couldn't live in New York. And because he wanted his mom and his sister completely away from everything that he was doing. Like he said, if I'm going to provide for you guys, I need to make sure you're safe at all times. I don't want you near it or anything like that. So basically, what he wanted to become a ghost, just like his dad. He's living in plain sight because he's still in school and everything.
I think that last scene, he finally understood how his dad was able to do it.
Yeah.
For as long as he was able to do it.
You can kind of
and provide that lifestyle. That's why he took on the name Ghost.
That light clicked in his head.
He was a distro in plain sight. Mm-hmm. So he kind of took that on because it's like after this, we'll never got to see each other again.
Yeah. And then that's when Noma's brother was like, so you'll literally be a ghost. And he was like, that's when you seen it click to him. He thought for me, he was like, huh. He was like, yeah.
And he finally figured out how his dad does it.
Yeah, he
did it.
So in that final scene, when he gets that phone call, that was absolutely Tommy.
That was definitely Tommy.
And especially them talking about, come on now, we family for life. I mean, that's something that his mom, Tommy, that they all used to say that to each other all the time.
I don't understand why people think that may be Diana or Kane, because he knows exactly where they are.
Exactly.
And he was asking them, okay, send me the directions. Mm-hmm. We'll be there.
Yeah, that was another thing. He did ask for the directions.
He's going to Chicago.
He may not know where Kane is, but Kane is off the grid.
Yeah, nobody knows where Kane is.
Kane is trying to lay low because he doesn't want to be found. So why is he getting himself involved in anything that's going to be put out there to be found? So it's definitely not Kane.
He shot at cops.
Exactly.
He has to lay low.
So it's definitely not Kane. And he knows exactly where Diana is. And they've probably spoken a couple times. So it's not Diana. So absolutely it's Tommy.
Yeah.
It's Tommy. No doubt. And this next season, I am excited to see Tommy and Tariq work together.
So I know they announced another Power spinoff. It's called Power Origins.
I didn't know that.
I think they're supposed to be the how Ghost and Tommy came up with Kanan.
Well, that sucks because I'm good with all that, but I definitely still wanted to see Tommy and Tariq.
But I do think there is another spinoff that is coming. Joseph Sequoia, who plays Tommy, when they announced that Force, this will be the final season of Force, he did specifically say he's not done with Tommy. Tommy's journey is not over yet.
He did.
As we did see, clearly, Michael Rainey Jr.'s Tariq character, he's still going. So there's something else that's in the works. That like they always hashtag it, power never dies. So there's more coming. I know they did have the other one, Influence, that they never got off the ground. It was supposed to be about Rashad Tate. But they ended up canceling that one. So I know they're trying to make up for that. And I think we're going to see Tommy and Tariq have a show.
I hope so.
I think we're going to have that. That could be the one that's in LA, but I don't know how that's going to work because Tariq has his business going in New York. Tommy's original plot was supposed to take place in LA. And it stopped in Chicago. So maybe that's the one where we finally go to LA. But the only thing I didn't like about this season, they really downplayed and didn't write Brayden's character like they did the previous seasons. That bugged me a little bit.
Who?
Brayden.
Which one was Brayden?
The white boy.
Oh.
Yeah. Tariq's homeboy, because
he was no Tommy.
But he was turning into that's why I say it. They didn't write him well. They kind of wrote him off.
A little bit.
They kind of wrote him off this season because Brayden had became a fan favorite.
He was a junkie.
I was like, okay, Brayden got heart. Okay, he caught his first body last season, and
the way they portrayed him in this season, at least.
Yeah, as if a junkie. I was like, that's. They definitely had a lot more going on with Noma and Noma's daughter, and Kane and Noma's relationship, and adding Michael Ealy to the cast, and Dirty Cops. Ealy, what else? Ealy. But I guess somebody had to take a hit, and it was his character, and bad choice, because Brayden's character was actually developing very well over the last couple of seasons, and this one they just kind of wrote him off, and I didn't like that. Because that was a cold white boy.
I guess I never got to get attached to him like that, so I didn't necessarily.
I mean, he was loyal.
Yeah, that I will give him. He was absolutely.
He was loyal, and I mean, even the way the previous season ended, he saved Tariq's life, because they all turned on him and had him dead to rights, and it was Brayden that showed up spraying.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that. But all in all, good freaking show.
Yeah, it was a good show. And usually you don't get that from spinoffs. Usually spinoffs don't do well. Power spinoffs have done well. Now, the one I have not got into Kanan's Raising Kanan series. It's hard for me to do that when the character died. I watched his death in Power. Wasn't really interested in seeing how he came up. I just, I got the cliff notes throughout the original series, and that was good enough for me. Now, I'm not saying it's not good. I've heard it's really good. So if you're watching it or wanting to watch it, go ahead and check it out. But it's definitely it's a prequel series, and it just didn't interest me because I saw how the story ended. I knew how ruthless he was, and I was good with that. So that's why it didn't interest me to watch the Raising Kanan series.
Well, you tell us what you think. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, any questions you might have, any corrections for us. Again, we love feedback. Anything to add on, just let us know, and we will reply back.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes this episode of M&M Talks and our reviews on Agatha All Along and Power Book 2 Ghosts. The ending, unfortunately. But come back to the channel, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. So when the next video comes up, you will be notified, and you can join in on the talks and conversations.
Thanks for sticking it out with us.
And
And
have a good one.
Have a good one.
Catch you later.
Bye.